On today's episode of Undercover Boss, the president and co-founder of Dutch Brews Coffee, America's largest privately held drive-thru coffee chain, goes undercover. By working in the front lines, this laid-back boss meets the people that keep his company roasting.
Because if you're not, I can build you something to take to the moon and back.
He's motivated to go global and take his journey to Central America.
This is Alberto. Alberto, this is Sam.
Me llamo Alberto.
We're gonna have you picking coffee.
Okay.
You think you can handle it?
Oh yeah, I can kill it.
But what will happen when this boss is forced to recruit someone to go undercover in his place and uncover major troubles brewing in his company?
He just got to this point where it's just super disrespectful. He kind of treated me like, a dog. We got into it a few times and I almost walked because of it.
For this and much more excitement, tune in for this episode of Undercover Boss. Headquartered in Oregon with 202 locations and 2,000 employees and an annual revenue of $100 million, Dutch Brews Coffee is the largest privately held drive-thru coffee chain in America. And making sure his customers are satisfied is the co-founder and president Travis Boersma. Dutch Bros is located in 7 states, and they have a culture that's different than most coffee houses. It's high energy, fast paced, and when people roll down the window, there's always great music. Employees are also not required to wear a uniform, and Travis's policy is to have fun, and they are also different as the only way to become a franchise owner is to first be an employee of the company. And this way, people who only understand the business get to own it. Travis grew up on a dairy farm here in Oregon, and the company was founded by him and his brother, who started it by selling coffee on moving carts. And the company's called Dutch because they're both Dutch and they're brothers. Their first day, the Dutch Bros made $65 a year, and later they opened their first drive-thru store. The company kept growing in the coming year, but tragedy struck unfortunately as Travis's brother passed away a couple of years ago. Dutch Bros has been growing and expanding pretty fast, but he wants to go undercover to see that if he and his brother's values are still getting represented in the company. Travis will be going undercover as Sam. His employees will be told that he's a contestant on a reality show competing to win money to start his dream business. For his first job, he travels to El Salvador to work as a plantation worker, and Dutch Bros gets 25% of their coffee beans from this plantation, but Travis has never visited it before. He meets up with the owner Ricardo, who takes him in the field and introduces him to Alberto, who is an expert in coffee beans. Alberto also doesn't speak English, so Ricardo will be interpreting for him.
Que cualquier cosa que tú necesites de él, que por favor le enseñes y que él lo va a hacer.
Okay,
¿Verdad?
de acuerdo, porque lo veía.
He first takes him to the farm and teaches him how to select and pick the right beans, and he then leaves him alone for Travis to pick on his own. And when Travis was done, Alberto wasn't really impressed with his work.
What to leave in the tree and what to cut.
Alberto, he's the commander, man. I mean, he gets it done.
Next, he shows him how to dig a hole to plant the coffee seedling, and even though Travis grew up on a farm, he really didn't know how to dig well as he hasn't done it for a long time and he struggles to do it. He got tired pretty fast, but Alberto makes him work until he finishes.
Que camine, que ya nos vamos a ir.
On their break, Travis learns Alberto has never missed a day in 22 years of working for the company, and he's a very hard worker and he loves his job.
Sin faltar un día. Me siento contento con mi trabajo y orgulloso del café que nosotros mismos producimos aquí.
And he also learns that one of his sons has polio, and before he leaves, Travis reveals his true identity to him and offers to pay for a fully paid vacation trip to America for him and his family, and then gives him $10,000 to help him. The next day he travels back to Oregon to see how the coffee is getting roasted, but Travis knows that even with his disguise, people in the factory will be able to recognize him easily, so he calls on the franchise owner, a close friend, Abe, to go undercover for him.
You're gonna be working with Will. I've known him forever, and he'd recognize me if I went in, bro.
Sure.
Get as much information as you can.
Travis monitors the situation with the monitors outside, and he sends Abe to work with Will as a bean roaster. The two meet shortly after, and Will shows Abe how to roast the coffee beans, and Abe then does what he learns and does really well.
Just go over there and grab a bag. Set it on the edge, take the razor blade, cut it. Don't let it fall out. Yeah, there you go.
And then they talk a little, and Abe learns that Will was having a problem with his boss, who treats the employees there horribly, and that Will was very close to leaving his job because of that.
The exact day when he was put in charge back here, his head just blew up. He just got to this point where it's just super disrespectful. He kind of treated me like, a dog.
Travis is disappointed to see his best employees treated badly, but is glad that he knows about it now, and he plans to do something about it.
I'm glad I came here, but there are things I definitely need to change.
For his next job, he travels to Gilbert, Arizona to work under the manager, and there he meets up with Hasmin, who is upbeat and energetic. She takes him outside to take orders from people in line and do their order before they reach the window.
What are we drinking? Yeah, anything else for you?
Yep, skinny ice, Kokomo.
Okay.
Those sound decadent.
Travis does okay at the job, but keeps forgetting customers' orders, but Hasmin was there to remind him.
Alright, you're
You know
good.
what? I forgot what I did.
Iced decaf mocha? Or iced decaf Kokomo?
I can't recall.
Go double check.
He then works on the drive-thru windows, and Hasmin starts a fun competition to keep her workers motivated, and Travis is happy to see that Hasmin is the perfect manager for his company as she carries his values.
It's like, got contests going on. She's super creative. She taught me the runner system that they use. She's got a lot of touch, and I admire that immensely.
For his last job, he travels to Nampa, Idaho to work as a barista, and there he meets up with Benisa, and she teaches him how to make coffee.
You can get them iced, hot, or blended. Either way, throw on the whipped cream. So good.
Benisa has one of the most successful stores in the company, and Travis sees that one of the main reasons is that she has a great relationship with her customers.
But it's just screaming. The commitment to the customer experience is through the roof.
And he even witnesses one of the customers bringing Benisa some homemade food when they came to take their coffee.
One lady brought in a cobbler. Are you kidding me? It's more than coffee. They're here for the people.
Later on their break, he learns that Benisa has started a community garden to help feed the community, and she invites him to see it.
Oh, really?
I have all these dreams of a community garden. I'd love to share with you what I've got going on there.
And as they garden together, he learns that she's a single mom and that her son has Down syndrome. Finally, Travis's undercover time has come to an end, and he invites his employees to reveal his true identity. First in was Hasmin, and he tells her that it was awesome to meet her, and tells her that he'll be implementing a runner system to other stores because of her, and then gives her $50,000 so she can open her own franchise store.
I don't even know what to think right now. I will own a Dutch Brothers. It'll be Jasmine's Dutch Brothers, which I'm really excited to say.
Next in was Benisa, and he tells her that her selfless behavior reminds him of his brother, and then gives her $50,000 to expand her community garden, and then gives her $10,000 and makes her promise that she'll use it on herself and her family.
There's one more thing. I want to give you $10,000 on top of that, but the $10,000 is for you.
And last but not least was Will, and after telling him that he was watching him from the monitor, he tells him that he'll be fixing the management problem at the factory, and then gives him $10,000 to do as he wishes, and then gives him another $10,000 so he can help his sister.
I'm going to do the same thing for your sister. I'm going to give her 10 grand too.
In the weeks since, Hasmin hired a caffeinated dream team to staff her new store, and the grand opening is set for next year. And Benisa, after having a great family vacation, will soon be opening her new community garden. Morale at the roasting facility has been restored thanks to Will, and his sister is loving her new home. And once he enrolls his son in college, Alberto will take his family to the US, and they'll see the sights, and they also plan to get some Dutch coffee. That is it for today's recap.